and the world will live as one.
He preached peace with a guitar in his hands and a flower in his hair, yet John Lennon could slice another musician's ego open with a single barb. Behind the imagined idealist stood a razor-tongued critic who railed against anyone he felt cheapened music, or worse, threatened his legacy. Tonight, we reveal the 6 bands John Lennon hated the most. Tonight, we peel back that carefully crafted image and step into the verbal boxing ring Lennon never left. By the end, the band he despised most will rewrite everything you thought you knew about rock's great pacifists. We put our heart in selecting these stories. Drop a like and hit the subscribe button for more tales. It's easy, and it helps us a lot. But Lennon's first target wasn't a blues rival at all. It was a TV-born pop experiment that dared to chase Beatlemania.
And I rise, wipe the sleep out of my eyes.
The Monkees never stood a chance. In 1967, their ratings-driven sitcom briefly vaulted them onto the same pedestal as the Beatles. Lennon exploded at the comparison, snarling to reporters that the Prefab Four were as real as Mickey Mouse. When Mike Nesmith wandered into a Sgt. Pepper session, Lennon banged out dissonant chords just to annoy him, then sneered, "Take notes, this is how musicians work." Months later, at a London club, Davy Jones toasted the Beatles' influence. Lennon leaned in and hissed, "Call me a Beatle again and I'll show you the difference between a band and a brand." Yet he privately confided to Peter Tork that he liked Pleasant Valley Sunday. Public scorn, private nod, the price of guarding elite status. After swatting at the Prefab Four, he turned his wit on a swaggering band whose blues roots and chart rivalry drew even sharper fire. His contempt for the Rolling Stones wore a friendlier mask. "They're always 3 steps and 2 years behind," he quipped during the White Album sessions, mocking how Jagger still clung to 12-bar blues while Lennon chased studio psychedelia. At Rock and Roll Circus in '68, a tipsy John told Mick, "Spin those hips till they fly off. You're still singing our leftovers." Jagger shot back, "At least I know who I am." Years later, Lennon conceded, almost sheepishly, "The Stones do what they do perfectly. I just never fancied doing it. Respect, yes, but never reverence." Yet if the Stones sounded behind the times, Lennon thought the next thunderous newcomers were simply throwing volume at a void. Led Zeppelin, heralds of a heavier age, met outright dismissal. The first time their thunder boomed at a 1969 industry party, Lennon clamped his hands over his ears and barked, "Turn that bloody noise down." Learning it was Jimmy Page's project, he scoffed. Jimmy should have stayed a session, man. At least then he played decent songs. Robert Plant's wails, mystical gibberish from a bloke caught in a bear trap, Stairway to Heaven, 8 minutes of drivel ending in a strangled cat solo. Yet he grudgingly admired their ruthless business savvy. "Those Zeppelin lads print money without looking like fools. I ought to take notes." He told Yoko, admiration wrapped in barbed wire. That roar would soon be drowned out by disco's glittering pulse, and Lennon's disdain found a new home beneath the mirror ball. If Zeppelin irritated him, the Bee Gees infuriated him. Their early Beatles-tinged ballads struck Lennon as Beatles without the brains, but the disco era sent his blood boiling. As Saturday Night Fever steamrolled charts he once owned, he fumed at a dinner party. Proof the public will buy anything if you market it right. Off the record with Playboy, he escalated. "Listening to the Bee Gees is like being strangled while someone pours honey in your ear." Maurice Gibb later admitted the words broke his heart. Lennon's rage, though, masked a deeper fear that glossy hooks might drown out the introspective rock he championed. But no mirror-lined club could reflect the sting he felt when the next records bore his former partner's name.
Like you.
No feud cut deeper than the one with Wings. Paul McCartney's Phoenix from the Beatles' ashes. The very idea felt like betrayal. Hearing their debut single, Give Ireland Back to the Irish, Lennon hurled the record across his apartment. Political posturing from Mr. Thumbs Aloft. He couldn't find Ireland on a map, you know. In a blistering 1971 Rolling Stone interview, he sneered, "Wings proves what I've always said. Without me, he's yesterday." When Paul's 1976 World Tour packed stadiums, Lennon snapped, "Playing Beatles songs to Beatles fans while pretending it's new, my 3-year-old could do that." In rare soft moments, though, he confessed, "I hate what he's doing with his talent. He's capable of so much more." Anger cloaked abandonment. And if Wings reopened old wounds, Lennon's harshest verdict awaited the very legend that forged his own fame. The most savage target of all was his own past. "Biggest trap I ever fell into," he told journalist Howard Smith in 1971. Beatlemania's screeching crowds, merchandising madness. It was a cage gilded in gold. He'd walk out of interviews if reporters lingered on the Fab Four. When Broadway's Beatlemania flourished in 77, he raged. "They've turned us into waxworks. 4 mop tops frozen in 64 amber forever." During Double Fantasy sessions, he banned Beatles talk entirely. "I spent 10 years escaping that prison. I'm not walking back in." Yet a week before his death, he finally allowed himself pride. "I'm proud of the music we made. I just had to find John Lennon outside of it." The feud he fought longest was with the Mirror. So, after battling idols, rivals, and ghosts alike, what does Lennon's relentless scorn really reveal about the man behind the music? Far from simple jealousy, Lennon's vendettas trace a man forever chasing authenticity in a circus of myths and marketing. His tongue wounded, but every wound drew a boundary. "Don't cheapen the art. Don't box me in. Don't forget I'm still evolving." He lived by contradiction, preaching love while firing verbal missiles, longing for freedom while haunted by a legend that fed him. Maybe that's why his scorn still crackles. It wasn't petty for pettiness' sake. It was a desperate defense of the only thing he trusted, his own restless, uncompromising voice. For the dreamer who asked us to imagine a better world, the real surprise is how fiercely he fought to imagine a better version of himself.